Hey everyone, welcome back to the show. On our 5th episode of the Foil Life Travel Show, we chat with Matt at the NC Foil School in Wrightsville Beach, North Carolina. This place, guys, looks absolutely epic with both ocean and sound side launch sites, amazing foiling conditions that you can do every single discipline that we love, from eFoil to parrowing to downwind to everything. So really do hope that you enjoy this episode. Next, I'd like to say a big thank you to our team. We have Frank, Stefan, and Pam in the background. Thanks, guys, for your continued work into the 2026 season. Next, a big thank you to our partners. We have the Surfoil World Tour. Make sure to visit surfoilworldtour.com for upcoming events and additional tour information. Lastly, thank you to our sponsors or the companies that support us so that we can keep the lights on. We want to thank Waterspeed. We also want to thank Mystic, North Foils, and On Kiteboarding. If you want to learn more about our sponsors, go to our website and click on, that's it, sponsors. Lastly, we are booking our camp to Ecuador. So if you haven't booked it yet, or if you haven't decided where you're going in the spring, make sure to visit foillifepodcast.com/camps. Take a look at it. It's going to be absolutely amazing time. It's going to be super fun. So check out foillifepodcast.com/camps. Now I hope you enjoy the show. Welcome to Foil Life. Whether you wing, kite, parrowing, downwind, pump, or eFoil, thanks for being here. All right, Matt, thanks for coming back.
Yeah, Luke, thanks for having me. This is great. This is a fantastic idea too. Like, kudos to you for coming up with this to just share schools everywhere, because like foilers need access to that. It's not that easy to find, and foiling's a sport that you can't just like go out and grab some gear and jump on and do it. So having access to instruction is really necessary. And I think this is going to really help people find coaching wherever they are.
Yeah, we wanted to showcase schools, but also allow people to connect and to learn a little bit about the school before them making a decision, and then finding out about the spot. What are the conditions like? What kind of gear do they have? There's a lot of questions that go into choosing something, especially when it's a family holiday.
Yeah,
like we were
absolutely.
talking about before. It's like, how can I incorporate as many of these things to make it possible, but then also have as much fun with friends, family, or is it a guy's trip, or is it a girl's trip? So that's what we're going to talk about today.
We have all of the above. So
NC Foil School.
Yes.
How'd you come up with the name, first of all?
I mean, it's does what it's supposed to do. It tells where we are and what we do. So
North Carolina.
NC Foil School. Yep. And also my partners, Dale and Carolyn, they are from Wilmington and Riceville Beach. Wilmington is kind of the city attached to Riceville Beach. So if I refer to Wilmington, that's where students who come from out of town will fly into Wilmington. And then Riceville Beach is just about 15 minutes from the airport. And Riceville Beach is our spot. But anyway, Carolyn and Dale are both from Wilmington, and they've lived in Puerto Rico the last 10 years, maybe 11 years. Carolyn actually works for Lyft eFoils, and they were really, instrumental with Lyft, working closely with them down there. And he's an ISA certified, surfing coach, and has been involved in surf coaching, guiding surf tours, and then got into foiling, and has been guiding tow foiling and foil adventures down in Puerto Rico while they were living down there. And then they decided to move back up here this year. So I had been teaching just on my own, kind of, here and there, fitting it in where I could, not doing it full time, but just really for fun, most of the time for free, just, getting people out there, mostly behind boats. And so when I met Dale and Carolyn, I had already had a little bit of a presence at the location we're at now, which is called Soundside Wrightsville Beach. It's attached to the Trailborn Hotel, which people who know Wrightsville Beach will know is formerly called the Blockade Runner, and it's been there forever. It's a long-standing, kind of legendary spot where the Carolina Cup stand-up paddleboard race was always held there. So people who were around for the SUP era will remember that. And just an incredible spot, beautiful resort, beautiful amenities, incredible grounds. And then we have conditions for basically everything. We have flat water on the sound side where we teach very introduction to e-foiling and foiling using the Lift eFoils. We have ocean conditions with surf. We have wind for winging, stand-up paddle, downwind, parrowing. We really have conditions to teach everything. So it's an incredible spot. And then, as you pointed out, it's a great spot for families, if people want to come, we actually just had a family last weekend, they were there for the whole family, mom, dad, and 2 college-age kids, and all 4 of them learned how to eFoil. And actually, the coolest thing is that the dad instigated this trip, but he, included the whole family, and he has made this, what I thought was a really impressive commitment. He's already booked a trip to Chicama for April.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, so he had never foiled before, and one of his friends who foils is like, you got to get into this. And so he's like, all right, let's do it. So he scheduled the trip. So he's booked for a trip to Chicama, came to us, for the coaching intro to foiling. And, next we're going to get him into towing, deep water starts, tow into some waves, obviously get tuned up on pumping and everything else you need to go on that epic trip. But he's determined to get tuned up by the spring so he can have a good trip to Chicama. So it's pretty awesome.
I can't wait to get there.
I know. I'm so looking. Are you goofy foot?
I'm regular.
You're regular. Okay. I'm goofy. And so yeah. I've been watching that wave forever because people windsurf there, And so I was aware of it through windsurfing for, 20 plus years ago. So, and I've never gone. So yeah, it just looks amazing. And foiling is definitely what it's made for. So anyway, so that was really cool. We just with
tie into your school.
Yeah.
Exactly. So for what kind of clients are you able to teach? Is it starting from all the way to beginner to advanced?
Definitely beginner to advanced. And I will say, this summer was our first summer. So we're really getting our feet under us as far as seeing what is out there, what the market is. 90% of our clients this year were first-time foilers getting on the eFoil. And then many of them were interested in eFoil. Some of them were just trying it for fun. It looked fun. They wanted to try it. People on vacation at the hotel, just giving it a shot is something cool to try. Many of them were interested in eFoiling specifically, and they wanted to get their own eFoil and go that route. Others were interested in a different discipline. For winging was quite popular this summer. We had a lot of people come through who wanted to learn to wing, but we start everyone on the eFoil. So, if you haven't foiled before, whatever discipline you're going after, we're going to get you on the eFoil first, teach you how to ride the foil, and then we're going to move into those other disciplines.
You found that's been the most successful way of teaching somebody how to foil? Because you can dial back the throttle too, right? On the lift, you can make it less powerful and more powerful and all that functionality. Yeah,
there is a little bit of, if you weren't ultimately going to be an eFoiler, you have to learn a little bit of, it's throttle control with the trigger. There's there's a little bit of eFoil specific skills that you have to learn, and people need to get through that. But they do easily enough. And if your ultimate goal was to learn how to wing, we're going to move past that stuff pretty quickly and get you onto a board that you can start working with the wing. But just time on foil is invaluable. So getting people on the eFoil is the fastest way to get them foiling. As I said, I've been teaching for a long time. I learned how to foil in 2015, I think, and have been on and off, getting people on the water behind boats for that whole time. And then once Carolyn and Dale moved here and we got the fleet of lift eFoils in, it was like night and day, complete game changer. The eFoil and the BB Talkin headsets are the 2 tools that have made foiling immeasurably easier to teach and more fun to learn for the students. Students are having fun from the minute they get on the water, zooming around on their belly on the board, like being on a motorized boogie board. They're laughing, having a great time. Then we get them up to their kind of hands and knees position and then up to their feet, and do a few touch and goes along the way, getting them up on foil so they get that experience of taking off and landing. And it's very safe and it's very effective. It's not everyone, but most people are flying in their first, 1 hour session, and most people are on their feet in their first 1 hour session, which is incredible. And compared to teaching behind the boat, the way I used to do it, you'd have the noise of the outboard motor, no headsets. I'm screaming at the person so that they can hear me. But of course, that makes them tense. Nobody likes to get yelled at. And so then on top of that, of course, you're getting pulled by the rope. So it's not really even the true feeling of foiling, because you have that third sort of point of stability or balance of the rope pulling you. And you got the boat wake. All of those factors. This is just a million times better. And it's been so fun all summer, just seeing people having a blast from the moment they get on the water. So it's been great.
It's a good point, actually, looking at, because we would tow with a jet ski, but they were always contending with the wake and the turbulence.
Yeah.
and then not knowing how quickly to go. So if you're working with all types of clientele from beginner all the way to advanced, when are the best seasons to show up to the school?
I mean, obviously summer is nice, but summer for us, really April through even November, early December is still very nice. Like right now, the water's still in, I think, the high 60s. If you came right now, well, we're recording this in early November. So you definitely would be in a 3-2 at the most. You know, if you're in the sound side where the water's a little warmer, maybe even a shorty. It's getting into December, January, February, maybe a 3-2 or 4-3 and booties. And then summertime is just, you know, board shorts and bikinis. It's beautiful. Water's high 70s, sometimes even low 80s. And it gets hot here. It's Carolina, southern North Carolina it gets hot in the summer. It's humid. But it's beautiful. Then in the summer,
warmer than Cape Hatteras then.
Oh yeah, by a ton.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. And our season, as far as if you're trying to come when you don't have to be in a full suit and booties, our season starts a lot earlier than theirs. I think up there, people even going into June might still be in a 3-2. And yeah, by, you know, mid-May, late May, we're definitely in board shorts. Our water temperature is quite a bit. Because they're in the, I'm actually not sure. I think it's the Gulf Stream, but they're much further out if you look at it on the map into the ocean. It's also much harder to get to if you think about, you know, nothing against Hatteras. It's beautiful, and all of the operations, Real in particular, has a phenomenal facility and, you know, great instructors. So it's a great place to learn any water sport, but it's harder to get to. The water's colder. There's in certain aspects. Yeah. We got some location attributes that maybe make our place a little cooler in ways.
What about condition wise? Because I've never done oceanside in Hatteras because the waves were so dumpy and unpredictable, and the sandbars would move.
It's heavy there too. Yeah, the waves can be heavy. Ours is more accessible, 100%. I mean, a lot of people from here, really good surfers, go up there because they want those heavy waves and barrels.
They do.
I mean, we have good waves here. If they have waves, a lot of times, or most of the time, we're going to have waves too. But yeah, it's not as critical here. But as far as conditions in general, generally speaking, one of the most amazing things about our spot is we have all the different conditions that you can think of. We have the flat water in the sound. We have, in the summer, we get thermal winds very consistently. So winging is phenomenal here, world class. We have great open ocean swell. So you can go out and wing and ride open ocean swell out, you know, half a mile, 3/4 a mile offshore. You know, downwinding and parawinging is very viable here. And then we have beach break and inlet surf situations. So the beach breaks can be just kind of out front anywhere. There's different spots, you know, that break better at different times. And then the inlets have their own sort of small waves up to larger waves, depending on what's going on with the swell. But with the tides coming in and out, they can have a really good setup, especially for sup foiling and prone foiling and foil assist for that matter. You know, that kind of foil drive or the manta is really effective in those spots too.
Like I was reading as well that how you guys teach is more so because foiling encompasses so many different disciplines, for example.
Yeah.
So you'll help match the individual with their, how much time do they have? Yep. What do they actually want out of this? So potentially parawinging could be the best solution, or paddle up, or eFoil might be the best based on where you live.
Yeah.
Because that's a concept that we like. Yeah.
Yeah. We call that context, and like, how does foiling fit into your lifestyle, your skills and abilities, or if you have any limitations to your skills and abilities, physical limitations or otherwise. And then even things like your schedule. And as an example of that, if you just put that into fitting it into the conditions that we have here, for example, if you were a person who's free in the morning and went to work at 9 a.m., well, all summer long, you have a beautiful setup at the inlet with small waves. You'd be great for sup foiling or foil assist or prone foiling. But if you were that same person, but you couldn't get out in the morning, but you had your afternoons free, well, most days in the summer by 2 o'clock, the wind is filled in, 15 to 18 or even more out of the southwest. So the waves are pretty junky. but you could be winging. So that might be the discipline you would want to pursue. And we've run throughout the summer, we ran these immersion camps that were a great way to help people determine, what direction they wanted to go with the sport. So people who had never foiled came out. Of course, we're teaching them how to foil on the lift eFoils. And then in between eFoil sessions, we would do intro to the other disciplines. So intro to SUP. I teach that. Was fortunate to be in the SUP industry and have a lot of coaching from some of the top SUP racers in the world and SUP surfers. And so cool. I have a great, foundation to teach performance, stand-up paddling, and then get people into those. And those are the skills, same skills that you need to be a good SUP foiler. My partner Dale is a great surfer and teaches more of the surf aspect. I do the winging. So, we are able to really bounce back and forth with our own skill sets, give people a taste of each of those disciplines throughout the course of this several multi-day camp. And then people would decide, hey, I'm really into this. Some people want to do them all. Some people, we've even had people who decide they didn't want to do any of them. They're like, you know what? All that stuff is too hard. I'm just going to eFoil. And, they'll buy an eFoil and then they just go blast around and have a great time doing that. But yeah, we've had, other, I would say probably the most popular this summer was winging. We had more people come back for deeper dives into winging than anything else. But yeah, all the disciplines have their place, and we have the conditions for all of them, at different times of the year. So that was a really fun thing for me. Yeah, just helping people identify, like, exactly. Okay, where do I want to go with this? And,
yep.
How does it fit into my lifestyle?
Well, at least now there's a lot more tools and options that they can use. How do you structure your lessons? Is it private one-on-ones? Mm-hmm. Let's say multi-person or group? You just mentioned a camp.
Yeah.
So if somebody's coming there, what can they pick from your array of services?
Definitely all of the above. We do one-on-one, lessons, probably most, more than anything. And then 2 people lessons is always good. We don't try to get more than 3 people in, for example, a eFoil lesson, because it's hard for the coach to really manage more than 2 people. We really are intensive with the coaching. We're on the headsets, BB Talkin headsets, which are an incredible tool, but coaching multiple people at one time on the water gets a little confusing for the students, especially. And then you can't, as the coach, you can't watch them every second. And we have them ride really tight in the area where we are. And we have a sort of an elevated dock that we, as the coach, we're up on this elevated dock where we can really see them and be in real time, very subtle coaching down to okay, move your front foot back 2 inches, or, what little shifts of weight, which we all know are the, make or break things for foiling when you're on foil. Those, how your weight's distributed on the board and getting in the right position. And so we're able to help people unlock all of that so much faster than they would figure it out on their own. And I think that's a huge part of the success. And then once people are up and foiling, then the amount of time they get actually on foil is, invaluable to progressing.
How long are typical lessons?
It's either 60 minutes or 90 minutes. And most people kind of get tired after 60 minutes. But if people have the energy, they can keep it going. And a lot of times that last 30 minutes can be the breakthrough period. But sometimes it can be, we also will help people identify if they are actually fatigued and they'd be better off, cutting it short at that point. Because you get to a point of diminishing returns if you get tired. And sometimes people don't want to admit that they're tired. And so then we encourage them to come back, just do the 60 minutes, come back, because your next lesson, you're going to progress so much farther. And you're not going to probably have a breakthrough because you're tired. So that's another thing as a coach, being able to identify that and kind of coax the person into making a good choice on whether or not they should extend their lesson.
That makes sense. Go home, take a rest, you can come back in. How do you progress your students, or what's your school's philosophy behind that? Some schools, what they'll do is they'll give a little bit of an intro, let them go off on their own, practice a few things, but then that could be safety implications if they might do something they're not quite ready for.
Yeah. Yeah. In the first lesson, we're definitely right there with them the whole session. And then when people come back, we may give them a little bit more latitude to, go off on their own. And a lot of times we'll do a ride along where we're actually out there riding with them. And that actually gives a student a little more freedom to adventure further away from our little home base, see some more of the surrounding area, which is really beautiful. And we ride with them and still on the headsets. So we're right there again, coaching them along the way.
Those BB Talkin are awesome, aren't they?
It's amazing. I've been telling you, like, it's like such a cliche to do. Like, game changer. Yeah, game changer, but it is truly is a game changer. It's been amazing. And yeah, like seeing how much faster people progress, it's unbelievable. So yeah, definitely wouldn't want to go back to not having them.
What brands I know you've mentioned Lift. What other brands are you guys working with?
Yeah, Lift. We're using Cabrina wings for the wing foiling, and Dakine is in there. We actually have some new brand relationships we're working on. I probably can't quite talk about yet, but there's some stuff going on, and some brands that we've talked to about being involved in some of the camps and retreats that we do. And so we're excited about the future in that way. There's, a lot of potential in our location, a lot of stuff that we can do. So we're excited to grow that and get more of the industry players involved. Anything
non-wind related? Let's say if you do have a member of the family that wants to come that doesn't want to touch the ocean, is there other things that they can do in the area?
As far as Wrightsville Beach, it's pretty ocean centric, although, you certainly don't have to get in the ocean. There's beautiful walks. One of the coolest things about Wrightsville Beach is very non-commercial. So if it's a place you're going to come and bring your family, it's not like, sort of Myrtle Beach or, Atlantic City or, there's no fast food. There's no high-rise hotels. I think the hotel that we're at is one of the tallest. And I think it's only 6 stories or something like that. So it's a very laid back beach town. It's very cool. There's, great dining right there on the island and, certainly beach walks. We have, migratory birds and sea turtles. So in the spring, if you come, like you can see the sea turtles nesting. There is, what else is there on Riceville Beach? There's really cool like coffee shops and surf shops and all of that stuff that you would expect. But again, like very non-commercial. It's very like independent vibe and laid back. And then our location has sailboat rentals, kayak rentals, stand-up paddleboard rentals, fishing excursions, just boat excursions, sort of eco-tourist style boat excursions. They have a really cool catamaran, like a 44-foot catamaran that they do cocktail sails in the evening, sunset sails. So there's a lot to do just right there at the resort. And you can do that stuff whether you're staying at the resort or not. All of that's available to kind of book a la carte. So if you're there with your family, there's definitely a lot of entertaining things to do.
Rent equipment from you guys as well, like wing equipment.
We do have for students that are experienced in those sports. Yeah, we do. We haven't had a ton of people show up that wanted to rent equipment, but we did a few this summer, and so we'll be prepared for that next year as well. So that would be people who are coming to town, but that do have experience with whatever discipline they want to rent the gear for.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if they want to drive down or fly down, they don't want to bring anything, then they can do that as well.
We're not like a full Vela rental center, but yeah, maybe in the future we will be. But we definitely have equipment, so I always would encourage people to hit us up and explain their situation, their experience level, and what they want to do, and we're going to find a way to accommodate. And really, hospitality is a big part of what we do. We want people to come to Riceville Beach, have an amazing time. A lot of times there's more experienced foiler traveling with a less experienced foiler, and we're always going to accommodate, and setting up a kind of custom curated adventure for people is absolutely what we love to do.
Do you know Michael Jordan?
I don't know him, but I have some good stories about him. One story in particular, a friend of mine who's lived here for a long time, and he is kind of in the industry. He was with some really high-end surfers. This is probably, it was back when Michael Jordan still came to Wilmington, which he doesn't really anymore. But he was showing these guys around, and they're all from Australia, I think. So they're like used to big waves, and there were no waves. And it was kind of like, oh man, these guys are disappointed in our little spot. And then he just pulls up to, I don't know, some local place, and there's Michael Jordan sitting in his car, and he's like, oh, guys, want to meet Mike? And he just takes them over and introduces them to Michael Jordan like it's no big deal.
Cool. Yeah.
But no, I've never met Michael Jordan or seen him. But yeah, he is from here. That's true. A lot of people probably wouldn't know that, but that is a claim to fame in Wilmington.
Yeah, definitely. Because there was a couple documentaries, I think the one about how he was actually able to get paid for his shoe endorsement and stuff.
Yeah, his mom. Yeah, we digress deeply. Yeah, his mom was like his fierce and protected him and the family, which is cool. Cool story.
Yeah, you need that.
We all need a fierce mom. Back to NC Foil School.
Back to NC Foil School. So we're looking at camps as well, because you mentioned Dale was running camps in Puerto Rico. Are there camps that, let's say people want to come to NC Foil School, take a lesson, but that's like, hey, we want to plan a holiday.
Yeah, absolutely. Planning holidays and retreats.
Secondary holiday, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, planning holidays and retreats and camps here in Riceville Beach is going to be a big part of what we do, because we have such an amazing location. And then we also want to do camps and retreats out and about. The most natural one to start with is Puerto Rico. Dale and Carolyn have all the connections there. And so we will be scheduling some tow retreats, and it'll be tow and eFoil. And, you're going to show up and we'll do whatever the conditions call for. But I think you have some slides of this, but the tow foiling spot that they have there in Puerto Rico is unbelievable. It's up on the North Shore.
Here it is.
You can't really get to it other than, by boat and the way that these guys do it. So it's completely uncrowded, unspoiled. And I haven't actually had the chance to go there yet, but I hope I do soon, because it looks amazing.
Let me see.
And it's the right-hander for you regular footers. But so we don't have those on the website and scheduled yet. Probably by the time people are watching this, we may have some dates up. But that's something we're just working on, all the final details with the logistics and costs and everything right now. But we definitely, Dale and Carolyn have deep relationship with all the people down here, and the accommodations, the meals will be all inclusive. It's going to be really fun and cool. And again, a great spot or adventure to take families on, because if it's, dad or mom or whoever, is going out foiling, there's plenty of stuff for everyone else to do.
Yeah, I've heard good things. There was a couple guys when I was in Maui this summer that that lived in Puerto Rico, and they quite enjoyed it. So first off, you could obviously go to Wrightsville Beach. Yeah, but then we're going to learn a little bit more about these retreats as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Cool. Yeah, it should be fun. Yeah, we're excited.
Anything else you want to add for people out there listening in?
Yeah, the other aspect is as like a demo center. The gear that we work with, especially Lift, eFoils at the moment, but some of these other brands that we're working with and are going to continue to grow into that sort of giving people the ability to try before you buy. Particularly with the eFoils, it's such a big investment, for people to get into them. And so, we have the Lift 5, we have the Lift X, so all the latest gear, and people can come and try the different sizes of boards, figure out what board's right for them, and we can help steer them in the right direction. And that'll be the same with the other brands that we partner with, as far as being able to come and, try different foils, try different wing gear, and helping people make smart buying decisions. This equipment's not cheap, and you make a big commitment, when you buy something. So even if it's coaching people, which we do all the time in our camps and with all of our students, into the right purchasing decision, make sure they're getting the right size foil, the right, size wings, the right style of wing and foil for the riding they're going to do, getting people on specific, brand equipment that they want to try is another big part of what we want to do. So demo center.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Now, if somebody's wanting to book lessons or they want to show up and they're completely new, what do they need to bring?
Just waterwear. Yeah, we have everything else. So whatever you're going to be comfortable. Obviously, you want to know what the water temperature and the conditions are for the time of year, but that's it. Yeah, we have all the life vests and protective gear and everything else like that. We've got you covered. Yeah.
Website and handles?
Yeah, NC Foil School, pretty much everywhere. Instagram is NC Foil School. I will say we're strongest on Instagram. And I think we auto share to Facebook. So there's good stuff on Facebook. I think all the good stuff's on Facebook as well. But yeah, we're working on our website still. We have a website up for sure. And you can go there and see our pricing for lessons. And Again, I always encourage people to contact us by phone or email, especially if there's something you want to do that you don't see on the website. We probably offer it, or we can accommodate you in some way. And I encourage people to just come check out Riceville Beach, and wherever you're at, whether you're a first time foiler or somewhere along your journey, we can help you get to the next level. And just the value of coaching is just can't be overstated, really, especially again with the technology we have, the equipment we have, BB Talkin. You can spend so much time out there having session after session, just kind of banging your head against the wall. And one session in coaching can push you through to that next level. It's so worth it. Just encourage everybody to whatever stage you're at.
I'm going to have to come down and be a special guest instructor with you guys.
Definitely will have to. That'd be awesome. Yeah.
That would
see
be
if
fun.
We can schedule it. Yeah. Or whenever you're on the East Coast.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah. Get down here.
Cool, Matt. Well, hey, thanks for coming on today. Thanks for sharing that with us. We really appreciate it. And just to get a little bit more information about your school out there, and everybody, you have their handles, you have their information. You could also reach out to us if you happen to find our email, whatever. Send out stuff. Thanks again. We will see you soon. Are you getting out
Luc.
today?
Today? I don't think we really have any conditions today, to be honest. Okay. We had a little swell over the last few days, and we actually had a really good wing day before yesterday. And Sunday looks great for winging. I think it'll be a big wing / para wing / downwind day on Sunday. So we'll be out there. Yeah.
Cool, buddy.
All right. Great talking to you. Thanks again.
You're welcome. All right. Bye, everybody.